Thank you, everybody. You ready to go? Well, let me tell you something. So are we. Let me say, first of all, let's hear it for our great Attorney General and the great work he is doing, and Lieutenant Governor, and all the folks behind me. I, too, also want to thank Laura Haas. She has been a steadfast advocate. In good times and bad, her voice has never been diminished, and we owe her a great round of applause for the work that Lori has done. And Lori is doing a little running check for me every day, and I think she's already told me there are already 30 very bad bills that have been introduced to get more gun rights, folks. So she is keeping track of all of that. But let me just say this. 2 years ago, I stood right on those stairs up there, and as governor, I promised to keep our citizens safe, to make our Commonwealth stronger. I have been a huge advocate from day one for common sense gun restrictions. Some of our opponents like to say that it's political. It's not. And let me tell you this, our voice was heard every single day on the campaign. We have not changed our tune one iota. And we are just warming up. And I want the folks in this building to understand that we are going to continue to fight for every single citizen here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. It is our goal to make Virginia the safest state in the United States of America, and we are not going to let them stop us. And when you take the oath of office as governor, you got to be prepared for a lot of situations. You know that you're going to have to call the loved ones of our law enforcement personnel who lose their lives in the line of duty. To call a parent, a child, a spouse, when we lose a state trooper or we lose law enforcement personnel. But you are never prepared as governor when you have to make that call, as I did to Andy and Barbara that day, or when I had to call the Ward family, or when I had to call the mother the other day here in Richmond, 12-year-old Amaya Moses, who was gunned down. You hang up that phone and you wonder, have you done everything that you possibly can to help our folks here in Virginia? And folks, we're not. We need to do more. And I am committed to all of you here today that we will continue on in this battle. Our voices will never be diminished. We will continue to fight for what is right. And as our Secretary of Public Safety said, this is also a public safety issue. I spent a lot of time trying to create economic activity. You can only do that if our communities are safe. And we need to give our folks the tools. We want to be the best state in America. You know, many of the members of the General Assembly who do not agree with our position continually say, well, enforce the laws. Okay? That's why I stood with the head of the state police and the head of the chiefs of police and the Sheriff's Association, and I signed Executive Order number 50, which says, enforce the laws on the books. I banned any open carry in any state office building. You are not to walk in our buildings anymore. And we're going to enforce those laws, and that's why I want to thank the Attorney General and Secretary Moran, who are heading up this new strike force. Now, if you get convicted or have a restraining order of domestic abuse here in Virginia, you are not allowed to purchase a gun. But guess what? If you have one in your house, you don't have to turn it in. You explain to me the logic behind that. So if you can't buy one, you shouldn't have one in the house either, and we're going to come get it and get it out of your house. Common sense background checks. I, as governor, I've had to go through background checks. I've done it. If it's good enough for me, it's good enough for everybody else here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Let me tell you this. We're not asking for much. How many, put your hands up if you believe that criminals should just walk in anywhere they want to any gun show and be able to purchase a gun? How many folks are for that? Are you kidding me? This is common sense. And that's why we're going to continue to promote it. As you know, when I ran for governor, I was attacked at my last debate at Virginia Tech by my opponent, who tried to make fun of me because he said, you know, I'm running against the only candidate for governor in Virginia history probably who's ever gotten an F from the NRA. Well, if you remember that debate, I turned to my opponent and said, let me tell you something. I am running for governor to keep our communities safe. And I said, let me tell you something. We're standing here at Virginia Tech, where we had the worst campus massacre in the history of the United States of America. I then pointed to the front row, and I said, you see that young man in the blue shirt down there? I said, his name is Colin Goddard, sitting next to my wife. Colin Goddard was shot 100 yards from where I'm standing 4 times. That young man still has 3 bullets in his body. Don't you dare talk to me about a letter grade from the NRA. So folks, are you ready to fight? Well then let's go get them. You march up to that building and you tell them we need common sense gun restrictions here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Thank you very much.